Hey kids. All right, so today our plan is to get this transmission and an engine separated, and then we'll start working on the subframe and see if we can get that off the car. So let's get this transmission unbolted and see if we can get it apart. That one out. So let's see where we are. Get my gloves on. All right, this thing should pop right out. It's probably a little heavy. There we go. Get this nut off of here. I see what's going to happen though. Looks like this thing won't fit. Why is it? It shouldn't. There we go. But the engine wants to tip forward. Okay, that's good for now. We'll reset it here in a minute. Well, I can see right now. So as you guys can see, looks like somebody set this thing apart. And as you can see, we're missing the flywheel. We're missing the a lot of the parts in here. Clutch assembly and throwout bearing and all of that. So I guess that's how it goes when you get somebody else's project. There's some parts that are missing, so one of the next thing I'm going to do is start a parts list of everything that I will need to procure in order to get this thing all back together. So anyway, so that was a good accomplishment, getting the tranny separated, and we'll go ahead and work on the next step. See you guys. Okay guys, so let me show you what I've been doing the last couple hours. Again, what we are doing right now is we're taking the sub chassis, the sub front clip, what I'm calling the front clip, off of the clip subframe, off of the body. So I've been spending the last hour or so trying to get all the bolts out. They were all pretty rusty. I've had to use the torch on most of them, and being that I'm working alone, some of them you had to reach up inside the body in the footwell to hold the bolt and unscrew the nut from below. So I had to do some arrangements to be able to do that by myself. But anyways, let me show you what I mean. So in order to take this sub chassis off, there are several bolts that needed to be taken off. So there were bolts right here, there was a bolt right here, there was a bolt right here that holds this whole suspension piece up onto the body. Also underneath, as you can see, there's a bolt here, there's a bolt there, and so on and so forth. There is some more here in the back. Now, I've taken most of the bolts out, left a couple of them in the back, and then I left a couple in the front so that the thing doesn't drop down. So what I want to do next, make sure that it's all loose and it's ready to come out. Then I'll put it on the ground and get it off. So but also what I wanted to show you is someone has done some fiberglass work all up in here, probably because at one point this part of the body was rusted. So I noticed that all of these rocker panels are fiberglass. So somebody must make these rocker panels. But then all of the inside of the fender well, or most of the fender well, was fiberglass thin. Even right here, as you can see, where they ran the fiberglass, and there's a little bit of fiberglass here, so I'll have to break that down. And if we come on the other side, You can also see it on this side. As I unbolted things, you can see that this was being held up by fiberglass. The whole fender well is fiberglass. So that's the reason there's fiberglass all down into here, which I'll have to separate with the chisel. So anyways, that's the reason why I'm not using this body, because it looks like at one point it had a lot of rust. Somebody's tried to fix it, but it still needs a lot of work. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna set it up, see if you can see it in here. So right here, between the chassis, between the body and the and that support, there's a little bit of fiberglass right in. So I'm gonna take a chisel and a hammer and see if we can split that apart. Okay, so as it turns out, nothing was really holding it up. It just needed a little bit of persuasion. So I got my persuasion tool out, banged it down a few times on a piece of 2x4, and it just broke everything loose. So where we are right now is, I think we have the entire subassembly loose. As you can see, in some areas we have a nice gap between the body and the subassembly. So I've placed a couple of 4x4s down on the ground. I'm going to lower the car, take off the last few screws, and we should be able to go ahead and set that entire subassembly onto the floor. So let me go ahead and do that, start lowering the car down, and you guys can kind of follow along on what's going on. Okay, I got some more lumber to put underneath there so that the brake, the front suspension doesn't hit the ground before the subframe hits the ground. So I'm going to place those underneath here so that it comes down on the wood before it comes down on the floor. There, I think that'll do it. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna let it down and see how it all sits down. Okay, so let's start lifting the body off of it and see if we can get it separated. Looks like it's coming apart. Let's get our persuasion tool out. I think we got it. So let me get the car out of the way and I'll show you what this sub-assembly frame that I've been talking about looks like. So here we go. We got it apart. Looks like our persuasion tool kind of fell down on the floor, but that's okay. So here it is. So this is the subframe assembly. So let me get in here so you can see while I talk. So here's a sub-assembly frame. All the suspension is still on it. If we wanted to, we could have dropped it with the engine in it and transmission, but I decided to do it in 2 steps. I thought that was a little bit easier. So the idea now is to take this entire sub-assembly, rebuild all the suspension pieces, rebuild the brakes, paint everything so it looks really nice and clean, and then once the engine and transmission are also rebuilt, we'll put everything in it, and once everything is put together, we'll basically have a OSCA mechanical sub-assembly, and then we'll go ahead and swap out the bodies and start building the black one. But anyways, that's going to be a few months down the road because we have a lot of work to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the nuts and bolts that I took off from the sub-assembly. I'm going to put them all back in place so that I know where they go, they don't get lost, and they are where they belong. So we had a good day today. Looks like I got a little bit dirty, but that's okay. That's the fun of it. Get a little bit dirty, get your hands dirty, get some working done, but accomplish what we needed to accomplish for today. So you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time.